Got a question for you. What dangerous pre-marital agreement did Jeremy and Britnie come up with before they got married? Let's find out. Episode 1, quick. We wanted people to make sure that they're ready for all the greatness that's coming their way because Britnie is on absolute fire, ladies and gentlemen. She is a cerebral pyromaniac.
Here we go.
Over here. I got a question, though, for our thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Your Instagram's blowing up, by the way. Congrats.
Thank you.
Our hundreds of thousands of listeners. Who are the 3 people in this podcast? Because I see 2 of us in the room. Britnie.
There is J Money Newsome, obviously.
Bang.
Me.
What's up?
And we got a little baby bear up in this room.
There's a bear in here?
There's a bear in here. There is a bear in my belly.
Hey.
Hey. I am 16 weeks pregnant today. My goodness.
4 months.
Oh my gosh. 4 months.
That's amazing.
This has been a journey.
When she told me, and I saw, she didn't tell me, she told everyone else simultaneously. But when she launched it and it was out there, she told our private G-Force community first and then everyone else. And when I saw that, along with your best friend, Whitney, who's having a baby girl, shout outs to Whitney and RJ, I was truly, without exaggeration, so happy.
Thank you.
So thrilled because one of our dreams, we talked about this forever ago, was I remember you and I sitting down having some sweet tea or something. It might have been a margarita. Doesn't matter.
You know.
We're having these conversations and we're discussing life. Like, what is life going to be like 10 years from us? Like, are we going to have families, kids running around, discussions? Are we going to be still investing? Are we going to be building countries, communities? How are we doing this? And one of those visions of that dream was we're going to have our children and our children are going to be friends and we're going to do life together.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first time I ever heard that phrase. In that very first that conversation that we had. And you're like, I want to do life with you, Newsome. I was like,
got to do life together.
Yeah.
You know, raise up that next generation of force for good leaders. Somebody's got to do it.
So I would love to learn and I would love to get some information from you from a lady's perspective.
Oh, man.
Women, strap in.
Oh, gosh.
This is going to be...
We're kicking it off this way. We really are.
We're going to kick it off because I want people to know how committed you are to this.
Yes.
Right? That's the key. You're going to have hurdles in life. You're going to have obstacles. You are going to have potentially maybe physical pain, maybe physical nausea. Who knows? There's always going to be something that can come up in your road to your purpose. Do you let those stop you? How can you continue to forge ahead? Someone had abundance that you and I were having a discussion about that was really facing some massive financial struggle. And this particular person was like, well, you know what? I'll just file bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. That'll be it. It'll be done. And you and I were both sat there and were like, no.
Absolutely not.
No. Because it's very easy at this time in your life, this season, to put your head down and work your absolute face off for a little bit. There are that equilibrium. We talked about that in season 2, the equilibrium of every now and then you have seasons where you put in 100-hour weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had some obstacles, although tiny to some other people, they're magnificently large to you. And you're still here. You're still doing this episode. You're still doing these seasons because it was a priority. It was a rock. And I just want to say thank you. Because I'm taking notes. I always get energized by this. This is always an extremely exciting opportunity for me. You're going to be able to have this genesis of this episode and these seasons provides content forever that people can listen to for the rest of human history. And you are battling your obstacles to get here.
God bless. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think he's asking me what's the experience of being pregnant like. And the disclaimer for the haters out there, before you go attacking anybody who actually wants to be real, is that every complaint about pregnancy has nothing to do with the desire for a baby.
Mm-hmm.
No, the desire for a baby and the joy and beauty it is to bring life into the earth is a harder journey for some than others. And you just win the luck of the freaking draw. Mm-hmm. If you're one of those people who didn't get sick or I didn't even know I was pregnant, like that's wonderful and celebrate it. Don't you dare get cocky because there's people who really have a hard time. And it's not based on your health and your eating and like Or do you have enough vitamins in you? Because I own a wellness resort and I eat perfectly.
Yeah.
And I had just enough prenatals in me for a year before I even conceived, all that stuff. And it just affects people differently. And so this has hands down been my most difficult physical journey ever. And right before this episode, I've thrown up 56 times today. And in every single time, you're not like, oh, I'm just so pumped about this. You're just like, why? Like,
yeah.
This has honestly sucked. And there's been no fun in it for me at all. And yes, we have been married for a year. January was a year. And we definitely want a family. We've had 2 failed adoptions. And so we're like, let's have our own. And we were actually told we couldn't have kids after trying for 9 months. And the month after we were told we cannot have kids per science, he got pregnant. And it was opening words to me when I told him, because he was in Turkey pulling people out from the rubble that had crunched,
How'd you tell him?
Well, he's in Turkey. I'm here. I'm on the island. There's literally, I forget how many thousands of buildings fell, 15-story buildings.
Yeah, huge.
And people were trapped. So he's there pulling people out of rubble with the aftershocks, which were killing more and more people because of these really weak infrastructures. Like even all these rescuers were getting killed. And I'm like, please don't die. Please don't die, when I found out. And so end up meeting him in Miami on our way to another country. And I gave him a little present, but I secretly recorded it. And the first thing out of his mouth was, how did that happen? He was very, very excited. It was special. I'd painted a little rock that says you're a daddy. And he freaked out. It was so cute.
Yes.
That being said, we very much wanted a child and are excited about the gift that it is. But I just want to give permission to the women out there that have struggled with this. It's not something you need to feel guilty about or that you're necessarily causing. Like it's really hard to out positive mental attitude this thing. Now I am doing it.
Yeah.
But man, the fortitude you have to have when your body is so physically sick. And it's not like, I don't feel right and I'm just hungry and I don't feel good and I'm hungry. It's like when you are hurling your freaking guts up for the 90th time that day and you are just, that level of nausea, it's pretty defeating. And there's nothing you can do about it. No medication that's working, all the stuff. It's really rough. And, Newsom wanted me to talk about that because why? Why did you want me to share how hard this has been?
Why did you want me to share? Because this is what Broke to Woke's about. We take the personal discussions other people are afraid of having, and we create a journey of realness. We don't hide behind a shroud of toxic positivity because you and I both have that mastered. We have the mindset mastered. We have the money mastered. We have the wealth mastered. We have the networks. We have the things. This is a journey, and this is a realization that for everyone out there are different and fun and challenging and unique obstacles that we choose that happen for us as one of the best gifts ever, that we get to decide, do we continue? Do we fall back? How do we pour into it? And hopefully both you and myself, we're going to give parents a look into that realness, a look into the journey of what it is to be a dad, what it means to be a mom. The challenges are going to come with that because of life. And I love how you mentioned you were prepared, like the prenatals, the dieting. This is nothing that, it could have been prevented. No, you did everything correct. And again, amen. I'm so happy that you were able to conceive, and it's just such a blessing. Was there a moment of surrender there?
Well, that was a surrender. When obviously when you're told you can't have kids, I think it goes against your human nature because we are wired to, I guess, procreate. And that's just like in your being that's possible and that's going to happen for you someday, even if you wait forever like I did. It's one of those things that you just assume you can. And, my family knows how big of a blessing that babies are. We know we've had a lot of loss in our family. And when babies are born or they're born healthy, that is a greatest gift. Like that's such a big deal. And so we never took that for granted. But to be actually told with you and your forever person that's not possible for you, we had to truly just give it to God and say, okay, well, that's not going to be what we do. And then literally the very next month. So yes, surrender is a huge piece of it. That being said, I thought I had it surrendered. You think you do. And I think I would define surrender as truly emotionally for real, letting it go, truly, which is really hard to like say, I surrender it. And then
there's totally different
you're
levels.
surrendering it because you want it to still happen. Like, it is hard.
Yes.
It's really tough. And it's, I think, not something I've figured out yet. It's like, why at some points in your life do you have to truly essentially give up on a dream for it to come true? Because that seems kind of cruel.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in a cruel God. I believe that God is love.
That's right.
And that love doesn't play tricks on you and doesn't like mess with you like that. So I haven't exactly figured out how surrender truly all the way works, like scientifically.
Right.
I just know that
emotionally and spiritually.
I just know all the, I like to understand things.
Yeah, of course.
I can tell you that the biggest, most pivotal points of my whole life have come from that place of surrender when I really, really did let it go.
That's the word that we used a lot last season. Remember, I told you that I had that moment on this island where I was like, you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm just not going to have plans. I'm just going to surrender the whole plan. My world changed in massive ways. But in the same instance, we had this attendee at one of the other events, and she was like, tell me how to surrender. Let me do it. There has to be a way. And that's the opposite, right? So there is a really cool situation where you just lean into it fully, like you said, emotionally released, total control.
Right.
And still continue your life. Even if it's going to happen, you still want it to.
Right.
Yep.
And truly trusting you are part of a divine plan. And that a lot of times those things, God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. It's
what a song.
That broken road that is all the prayers you prayed that didn't come true led you to something greater. And so you do have to trust that, not that your prayers don't come true, but if it is being delayed, it's not necessarily being denied. It's being delayed for something greater time. And so we are very excited about the baby. We're very excited. And
how'd you choose the name Bear?
Well,
people want to know.
Obviously we're gonna have a hyper masculine name if it's Britnie Turner and Jeremy Locke's baby.
Yeah.
But Jeremy's nickname was always Jer Bear, and so it's kind of Jeremy's little bear, which is fun.
Yeah.
So it's kind of how you came up with your son's name.
Yeah.
Which Jeremy's son.
Yep.
Son.
Yep.
We were not trying to copy you, but I guess it kind of came out that way.
I'm with it.
One of our pre-marital agreements, obviously his idea, but one of our pre-marital agreements was that our kids will all have the middle name Danger. So they can say, Danger is my middle name.
Yes.
So this is Bear Danger Locke.
Yes.
Coming soon, October 2023.
I like how you mentioned this is a pre-marital arrangement. This was...
It was agreed to in our vows. It really is in our vows.
My middle name's Danger, baby.
Yeah.
I love that. That's going to be so cool.
It's ridiculous. And we know it and we don't care. We like it.
I like it.
And millennials, we have to pick weird names.
I'm a big fan.
It's our thing.
Yeah. I like how we both have 4-letter first sons. Right? BEAR, JSON. This is so good.
There we go.
I like how you use the word divine plan. Now, this might be maybe just me. I don't know. And I could be wrong. I've heard you use this word divine more, I think, in the past 12 months than all the previous years that I knew you. I would love to know in future episodes what that word means to you. Was it just me not wanting to hear that word? You've been using it a bunch, or have you been using it more?
I've probably been using it more. I think that as we grow in our relationship with God, the more I have grown, the more I realize it's not a white bearded old man sitting on some throne up in Golden Palace land. For any human to assume we fully understand God is really the most egotistical, ridiculous, cocky thing on the planet.
Here she comes.
And so to just understand that there is a love, there is a creator, this force of love that is so much bigger and magnificent and kind than we could ever fathom. versus this judging white bearded old dude. It's just been a better revelation for me. And so the way I would define divine is just this knowing of all things past, present, future, and like orchestrator of all things beautiful that really is for you and so much bigger and more expansive than you could ever fathom and wants good for you too. Doesn't ever put horrible things in your way. But if horrible things start to happen, it's normally because somebody's out of alignment. Somebody's choosing to run as far away from that presence as humanly possible. And that does create problems. So when we step into that alignment, really things do begin to unfold. And anything that does happen to you because somebody steps out of alignment is still going to be worked for your good. And so that's that knowing of this bigger plan than I could ever be so cocky to say I understand, but I get to be part of.
I don't think you've ever said the word force for love before. Thank you for that. We're going to talk more about that in the next episode. But secondly, that's a request for my birthday present for my wife. If you're listening, I want a shirt that says force for love.
Force for love. Love it.
That's amazing. See you in the next episode, everyone. Listen, I'm sure you know exactly how podcasting works. There's a share button very close to your thumb somewhere on this episode. Click it, pop over to your Twitter, your Instagram, your Facebook. Let your friends know about this. In fact, that's the way that Broke to Woke gets shared all across the world, is by incredible people just like you hitting the share, putting it on their socials, and giving us some love.